Call of Duty. It used to be one of the greatest video games of all time. Up until the past few Call of Duties, this game used to take up a lot of my day playing it. The games MW2, Black Ops 1, MW3, Black Ops 2, even COD Ghost. I spent a lot of my days when I was younger playing those games. Just because I'm older doesn't mean that the passion I had for those games went away. I just believe that these games just aren't as fun anymore that they keep releasing. I have three core areas where I believe Call of Duty just has gone downhill in. The first one being the skill based matchmaking. I don't want to spend too much time talking about it because I'm sure most of you guys have watched numerous videos talking about how this ruins the COD franchise, how it takes away from the fun in the game. But ever since they introduced very hardcore skill based matchmaking, I have had no fun playing these games. I have no problem playing good opponents, but my problem when it comes to the skill based matchmaking is that everyone's using the same gun, same objectives, same style of playing. But enough of that. I don't want to rant too much about that. On to topic two. My second opinion as to why Call of Duty sucks nowadays is that there's no more fun to the game. The main reason I used to love playing these old games was grinding to getting the highest prestige in the game. As fast as I could, just grinding to get to that highest prestige was the funnest times I've ever had in my life playing Call of Duty. I feel Call of Duty really messed up by taking away that traditional prestige system that they had. Everything was just perfect about it in the games MW2, Black Ops 1, MW3. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no reason for them to ever remove that from the franchise of the game. Watching the race to Master Prestige, those live streams that were on Twitch all the time or YouTube when the games first released, was some of the funnest times I've had when I was a children. I would be playing Call of Duty, trying to level up while watching these live streams, and it was just so much fun to me back in the day. Nowadays, you can't do that. You can only get to the highest level in the game, which is like 55 or whatever, and wait for the next season to drop. In which, seasons, terrible addition to the game. Horrible. All it is a cash grab by Activision trying to get more money out of their players. That's all it is. You get nothing good for ever buying those seasons. There's nothing good about it. Another little thing that I wish they'd never took out of the game was in MW3 when you were looking at somebody's calling card or their name, just hovering over their name, you were able to see what prestige they were in the last Call of Duty games. COD 4, World at War, MW2, and BO1. You could see what prestige they were in the game on their calling card. That system has only been in the one Call of Duty, which was MW3, but it is just something little that I believe a lot of the more experienced veterans of the game really enjoyed seeing, because when I would get in a party and I'd be playing in a party of 5, 6, and we came up against another party of 6 and seeing that they were all the highest prestige in every Call of Duty game, it used to be so fun trying to go into that game and playing against these guys. If you win, you got to talk so much crap in the post-game lobby because they didn't disabandon the party or the lobbies after every game either. Now, that brings me to my next point where I don't think the games are as fun anymore. It would be the titles and emblems. You used to actually feel rewarded for getting a certain title or emblem in the game. Like, you remember the COD 4 spinning emblem in MW2? That used to be such a rewarding feeling just trying to get that emblem. Or even those, the titles with the gold skulls on them, like shooting flames or whatever for the guns. Getting those titles and emblems was so rewarding because it took up a big portion of the screen when you were going over seeing the people's profiles or whatever. They just don't make their calling cards and emblems like that anymore. Now you get the most BS calling cards and emblems for completing difficult challenges, and it's almost just unrewarding for you as the player. Now, the last issue that I want to cover here is that the game is just dedicated or catered to more of the lesser skilled players. What I'm talking about here is an example would be if you look at the maps now. The maps are just made for the lesser skilled players with the dead spaces and the camping spots. The dead spaces are the spaces where you can spawn in and not be around any action for the 10 seconds or whatever. And you have to run, like 20, 25 seconds just to find action again from these dead spaces. This goes for camping spots as well. There's been camping spots in every game, but the newer games, the camping spots have zero risk to get into. What I mean by this is in MW2, for High Rise, for example, the camping spot that you could get into was on top of the building of the one side. But to get into that camping spot, you went through a series of steps that required risks to get you up there. Running across the little platform on the side of the building, you were liable to get shot from pretty much anywhere on the map. Jumping up onto that crane, you were liable to fall to your death and not get up there and have to try again. So these camping spots were difficult to get into, considering there's multiple ways to die from trying to get into them. In the new games, though, these camping spots you can just run right into, sit in the corner, and never see any action throughout the game. Or if you do see action, you could just easily shoot somebody in that spot. I hope I've made a pretty solid point here on my reasoning as to why the game is just not as fun anymore. There are multiple reasons that Call of Duty just is not the same as it used to be. And there are easy ways to fix these issues, but the developers of the game just do not want to do them because they want to cater to the lesser skilled players and make sure that they have a good time playing the game. But as we all know, we've all had to evolve throughout our days of playing Call of Duty to get to the skill gap that we're at. Overall, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, I'll see you later.
We are about to achieve victory, comrades! UAV recon standing by. Our UAV is online. Our UAV is online. Enemy helicopter approaching.
I love niggas really bad.
Well done. Victory is ours.
They say it's nice and grand.